Are there too many definitions of freedom out there?
They're not going to get their freedom staying on that plantation.
There's laws, and since they're free, they should obey those laws.
The way that we teach at the Urban Academy is that we use the inquiry method of teaching. It's rigorous teaching that puts a value on students' ideas and sees students' ideas as playing an essential role in the shaping of a discussion and a lesson.
Could everybody just make sure that they have these documents out, the meaning of freedom after the Civil War, past the first letter into the first person accounts? That's where we are.
But it's also teaching that requires students to not just engage, but to engage thoughtfully and with information.
Let me read the first document out loud. This is a preacher, I assume a former slave. It's a speech he gave. It says an impromptu speech. Anyone know what an impromptu speech means?
In this lesson, I'm coming at the meaning of freedom with the kids by looking at a set of primary source documents. These documents are written from the perspective of the participants in the Reconstruction experience.
You ain't none of you going to feel real free till you shakes the dust of the old plantation off in your feet and goes to a new place where you can live out of your sight of the great house.
They're organized so as to provoke from the students differing points of view on what freedom meant to these people.
He's basically saying that freedom means like kind of getting rid of your old life and moving on, like getting away from the plantation and just getting rid of your old master and just moving on into a life where you don't have to look at the life you had as a slave.
And do people agree that that's freedom? I mean, I guess that's my question. Are you not free until you leave the plantation?
They're free legally, obviously. But I feel like, obviously, like in reality, they're not going to get their freedom staying on that plantation because the owners are going to like take advantage of the fact that they previously owned them, I guess. So
I come prepared with a whole series of questions, of what I call open-ended questions, that I think will really excite kids and sharpen debate.
I don't think it was wrong for what he did that he stole his master's horse. In his eyes, like that was his exit to freedom.
So my role is really to facilitate the debate and to facilitate kind of a deeper unpacking of the meaning of the text.
Definitions here, and is one definition right?
You asked like if we thought that was freedom,
yes.
His opinion? No, because how are they gonna make money? Like if they get away, because what else? Like he's saying, like get away and forget about white people, but like how are they all gonna do that and it work? So no, I don't think it's freedom.
I think that there's too many definitions of freedom back then because freedom to slaves meant one thing, freedom to slave owners meant another thing, and free people in the North and just people in general and the government. And I also feel like some people say, okay, well you're free, but I don't respect your freedom, so they don't really get to take advantage of their rights because other people don't respect their freedom.
I mean, you raised an interesting question because I assume you read some of the rest of this stuff.
Text is something that helps them develop their thinking, and they use it to sort of defend a point of view or respond to another point of view, which is different than in traditional classroom, because I'm not asking them to say, what does this mean? Yes, you're right, no, you're wrong. I'm saying, what does this mean to you?
You don't know the niggers. No nigger free a slave in these southern states, nor in any part of the known world, ever would work or ever will work unless he's made to. Now, what do you do with people like that? Do you deny them the right to vote? Do you deny them the right to be in the government?
All these people committed treason, so why can't they just be executed?
What about it? What about, he's saying these people did commit an act of treason. They don't want to respect the freedom of the former slaves. Why don't we just kill them all?
The reason why Lincoln started the war was to bring back the South. And if you're just gonna kill all their leaders, that's just gonna bring back the sectional divide that they had.
When you're opening things up like this and you're encouraging student voice, you're going to have some comments that address the initial question. You're going to have some comments that address a new question. You're going to have some comments that are extraneous. And my job is to track the various debates that are going on and to be able to sort of scaffold them in a way for the students.
She's saying, look, the goal of the war was to unify the country. If we follow Sowell's policy and kill all those white leaders of the South, then we're going to turn off all the white people of the South. We'll never be able to bring them make them part of the country again. Sowell is saying, but don't you want those people taught a lesson that they have to respect the rights of black people now that they're no longer slaves? Who is right? Okay, that is my question. Jabari and then Ezra.
They could bring them back in, but differently. Like, I think instead of having to kill them, make them agree to abiding by these rules, otherwise they'll be punished, say like prison or something a little bit more moral, I guess, than killing people.
They're learning how to support their ideas with evidence. They're learning how to sort of refine their ideas when their ideas are challenged, or modify them, or even change them if someone else's argument convinces them. These are all skills one needs as a reader and a writer as well. So what I'm trying to do here is work on the same skills in discussion that I want the kids to develop as readers and writers.
We're not really reading from a textbook and answering questions, but we actually talk about what we think.
I feel like you learn more because you learn about like other people's opinions, and like you get to share how you feel about the subject.
I like talking to other students as opposed to just reading or just listening to a teacher talk, because then I have motivation to, stay involved in the class, be engaged. I think I've become a better thinker and speaker.